The MMA fortune teller.
The teller, the teller, the teller, the teller, the teller, the teller.
Teller checking in for UFC 250. I got an amazing episode that I put together here for you guys, so I really hope that you guys stay with me from beginning to end here. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of exciting things going on over here in the MMA world and over here with the fortune teller and whatnot. A lot of things I want to talk to you guys about. One thing that I think I talked a little bit about, but I want to go more into detail on is I really appreciate you guys. I surpassed 1,000 subscribers, and not only did I pass 1,000 subscribers, but since I surpassed 1,000 subscribers, I'm on my way to 2,000 pretty quickly here. So you guys have really been showing me a lot of support, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys for doing so. Already got 1.25, and if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do. Please like this video right now. Hit like on this video. With the algorithms and the way YouTube works, it really goes a long way for me. So if you could, please do that, and I really appreciate all you guys. So first and foremost, had to touch upon that. And then, what can we say? It's Sunday morning. It's early over here. I'm drinking my coffee. We had an amazing event that took place last night, as you guys all know, and we're going to go into detail on that. Gilbert Burns versus Tyrone Woodley. I got a lot to say about that card. It was another profitable event. Let's pull up the bets. I'm sure a lot of you guys know I was big on Gilbert Burns. 3-unit play on Gilbert Burns that hit. Profited almost 5 units back on that play. I try to tell all of you guys I was taking Gilbert Burns. You know what I mean? Run the tape back. I mean, if you want to, nobody can deny that. I was so blatantly taking Gilbert Burns, and it was obvious I was making a bet on him. And I don't normally try to do that, of course, because it's not fair. Certain people pay for my picks, but I had to try to steer you guys into the Gilbert Burns direction. And I had something happen to me that doesn't normally happen. It was very interesting. Certain people that I work with actually even denied my Gilbert Burns play. Not all of them, of course, and very few, but a couple. I had more than one person say, "I'm staying away from the Gilbert Burns play. You're crazy. He's going to get knocked out, this and that." I said, all right, and they shot themselves in the foot. You're working with me, you're paying for my services, and you're not going to take my picks, especially when I'm going on almost 11 profitable events in a row. I mean, a horrible mistake by a few of you, and not to throw shade at you guys, because I'm sure it's possible that you're listening to this, but I told you guys Gilbert Burns was the superior fighter. He's younger, more athletic, his striking's better, his grappling's better. He's the real deal, and I've been high on Gilbert Burns. That's the second consecutive play I had on him. Also had him over Damian Maia. That was a major play, so you guys know that. Of course, every one of my plays is third-party tracked. Over at Caprotech, you can see it's all dated when I made my selection, of course, always well in advance of the fight cards. And other than that, like I said, I work with over 20 some odd people. Obviously, I would sound like a fool, if I was sitting here saying I took different plays that I didn't. Everyone knows what I took, and it's all here. I did lose my Antonina Shevchenko play. Not to make any excuses, but I got to be honest with you guys. I initially just had these two plays. The Casey Keeney parlayed with Kevin Holland. When he pulled out of that fight, which is why you see it twice here, just because I wanted to make sure it was clear I had Casey Keeney straight after Kevin Holland pulled out of that fight. But I felt a little bit of pressure to put another play together. A lot of people were saying, oh, is there another play? They wanted at least a third play here. I should have kept it with the two plays. Casey Keeney straight up, which at minus 270 was a steal, and that's why I jumped on that. You don't normally see me taking those plays at odds like that, but when I see a line that's off, and I felt so confident Keeney was going to win, jumped all over that. So hit big on that 4.5 unit play. And then I threw the Antonina Shevchenko play together. That was honestly the next play that I was going to go for. I was going to stay away from it. It was too risky, but I thought that the fight would take place in the feet. I thought it was going to be more of a striking affair, and I thought Shevchenko would look good. Her sister just fought Chookagian. She had the recipe to beat her. They've been doing a lot of research on Chookagian. And that was not true. Antonina Shevchenko, her grappling is not up to par, and she won't be going anywhere as far as the top of the division and whatnot. Maybe if she's lucky, she gets a couple more victories in UFC, but she's already up there in age, and that was a mistake on my end. And again, Gilbert Burns, that was the play of the night for me, and it was another profitable event for the teller. So really exciting over here. A lot of money's been coming in for me, and it's a great feeling. And the haters are gonna hate. You always got, when you're doing good, always remember this, guys. The haters are going to hate when you're doing good. I've been noticing quite a few haters coming out the bushes all of a sudden since my channel's been blowing up, and since I can continuously keep putting these profitable events. I could tell, if you're listening, you haters, I could tell that you guys did not have a profitable event, because I could read the hatred in your heart. But I did have a profitable event, and you can't always have profitable events. I know there's going to be some events coming down the line that I'm not. You can't win them all, but as of now, I am on a tear. So it is what it is, and that's the facts. So we'll leave that at that. And so besides just betting on the card, let's take a look real quick at the Gilbert Burns, Tyron Woodley card. We'll start at the bottom. We'll make this quick. Gutierrez looked amazing in that fight. Casey Keeney, we talked about him. Big things to come from him. I told you, Tim Elliott, I did have him to win that fight. I would never have bet on it, and the line was off. Mark my words, run the tape back. Tim Elliott, the line was off in that fight, but I didn't want nothing to do with it. I thought Elliott would probably pull it off, but I said he puts himself in so many dangerous positions. You can never trust him. Hate to say it, man. I'm a big fan of his, and he might be coming on the show, and he's a legend in the game in his own right. Jamal Hill rose to the occasion. We got to keep an eye on him moving forward. D-Rock handled business. Chikogian, we already talked about that. Mackenzie Dern, I say if she doesn't get that submission, she loses that fight. You saw the way things were going. Hannah Cyphers was stronger. Her striking looked a little bit better from what we saw. And if she didn't get subs, she would have won that fight. Should have never went into her guard. Horrible mistake. Roosevelt Roberts looked good. And, he looked good in that fight. And, Brock Weaver took the fight on short notice, but, Roosevelt Roberts is the real deal. You guys saw I posted a picture. I met him outside the arena a little bit ago. Cool dude. Billy Quarantillo, I had him to win that fight. I thought he was just a little bit more polished than Spike. That guy, Spike Carlisle, I'm a fan of his, man. The Alpha Ginger, that guy's my new favorite fighter, I think. Can't wait to see him get back in there. That guy is explosive. He's going to be a household name in the UFC, in my opinion. Augusto Sakai won that fight. Could have won either way. I thought Blagoy probably edged it, and he should have won the fight, especially for the fact that Augusto grabbed the cage in the third round, stole that takedown from him that he would have had, and probably would have won the fight like that. And I don't like seeing crap like that. Obviously, Cormier called that out. Cormier is always on point. Called that out, and that was not right. Gilbert Burns. Enough said on that. So that was that. And now we work our way over to UFC 250. I've heard some mixed reviews on this fight card. Some people said, there's no real star power on it. I disagree. I think this is an excellent card, and people really expect big things when you get these nice, crisp numbers, those nice, even numbers, UFC 200, UFC 250. I think the card's excellent, man, and I can't wait to get into each and every one of these fights. I got some exciting stuff to talk about in regards to a couple of these different fights, so make sure you stay tuned for the whole show. One last thing before we get into the fights for this card. I did a fight companion last night for the fight card that took place, and I'll be doing that very often. Going to be doing it for UFC 250. I hope to see you guys join the fight companion, join the show. You guys can hop on. We could talk all things in regards to the card, man. We could talk, whatever you guys want to talk about, life stuff, whatever, man. We'll have a good time. Get your drink ready, get your smoke ready, whatever you do, and we'll make it a good show. So I will be doing that again, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern for the main card. Fight companion. It's going to be taking place regularly. So shout out to everybody that tuned in last night, and I hope to see you guys there next Saturday. All right. With all that being said, you know what time it is now, man. We got to get into the card. First fight of UFC 250. This one was thrown together pretty much last minute, man. How about Herbert Burns getting in there right after his brother just had an amazing victory, taking on Evan Dunham. For those of you guys that are not familiar with Evan Dunham, man, Evan Dunham is an OG in the game. You remember him taking on Sean Sharp back in the day. I mean, he's been around for a long time. Evan Dunham, this is a guy that, as far as I was concerned, from what I remember, he retired from the game. And now he's making a return. I guess he had a change of heart. A very well-rounded fighter. Good striking, not really that knockout power, but he's good. He's in and out. Grappling's good. Very polished fighter. He's a true veteran. He's 38 years old, like I said. Then you got Herbert Burns, 32 years old, but not a lot of mileage on him. He is a more Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. That's his base. So a little bit more of the fresher fighter. And right now I got to go with Herbert Burns to win this fight. Training with his brother and whatnot, and his jiu-jitsu solid. You see him here sitting down with one of the owners of Titan FC. And these guys are really making a name for themselves. The Burns brothers. If Herbert Burns steps it up a little bit more, these guys are going to be, another one of those duos of brothers, man, that are really up there in the game, like the Nogueira brothers, the Diaz brothers, the Pitbull brothers over in Bellator. If Herbert Burns continues to put it together, man, both these guys are going to be at the top of the heap, together, two siblings doing their thing. I don't know if we could add the Shevchenko sisters to that after Antonina's performance last night. Not happy with her right now, so she's not part of that discussion. All right, so yeah, I'm going to go with Herbert Burns to win this fight. Evan Dunham can definitely spoil the party, and in my opinion, the line is off. Plus 200 for Evan Dunham. There's some value there. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking Herbert Burns at minus 260, me personally. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on the line and see if there's a possible play one way or the other. So stay tuned and see how things go with that. And on to the next fight. We got the big boys throwing down, and in particular Alonzo, Menifield. This guy has real power. You see him over here just putting dudes out left and right, all types of guys. Took out Paul Craig. Of course, on the Dana White's Contender Series where he made his debut against Boatwright. You see him over here, laid him out, man, took him out. Those big boys were throwing down. And Alonzo Menifield's the real deal, 9-0. A little bit green, got in the game late. Devin Clark is a guy that he has the ability to spoil the party. We've seen him spoil the party with Darko Stojic, a guy that a lot of people were high on, coming off a victory against Daquan Townsend, a guy that's really not UFC caliber, but an exciting guy. And Devin Clark is susceptible to getting finished in his losses. So Rakic made quick work of him, I guess you could say. That was an entertaining fight, back and forth. But the point being is that he puts himself out there to be finished. Even Alex Nicholson finished him. A guy that maybe I'll bring on the show, Alex the Spartan Nicholson. I like that guy. He's an entertaining dude, fighting over for PFL nowadays. But back to business. Devin Clark has good grappling, but he's susceptible to being finished. I do not see Menifield getting a submission on him, though. I think he's going, he goes for the knockout, and that's what he'll be doing here. Menifield probably gets the knockout, in my opinion. But either way, I pick him to win the fight. As far as betting goes, minus 230. Do you feel comfortable taking him at a line like that? I don't know about that. And Alonzo Menifield to win that fight, though. All right, man. Gonna slide through this card, but we're gonna put a little bit more time into some of these bigger name fights, man. I got some interesting things to say about some of these upcoming fights, so stay tuned. Jussier Formiga taking on Alex Perez. Alex Perez, the younger guy, 7 years younger. Alex Perez really has been handling business. This guy's a solid fighter here in the flyweight division. 28 years old. Just had that one setback against Joseph Benavidez, and if it wasn't for that loss, sky's the limit. He would already probably been fighting for the belt and whatnot. That was the one little setback that he had where he got finished and kind of got, I don't want to say exposed, but kind of, it showed that he's susceptible, to being finished against these top tier guys. Bounced back with 2 victories though. Finished Jordan Espinosa. So, he's a solid fighter. Jussier Formiga, this is a guy I like, a very, very skilled fighter. The jiu-jitsu is as good as it gets in the UFC, period. This guy's a leech. He'll take your back. He'll control you for an entire round. Coming off the loss against Brandon Moreno and Benavidez. Benavidez, he got slept. Moreno, that was a fight. I really didn't like what I saw from him. That was a fight that, I think he won the 3rd round, came back, won the 3rd round, but, he had he had positions where he was controlling the fight. But then, he was very slow with his striking, very hesitant, didn't look good for the judges' scorecards, looked like he took some time off, looked like in the fight, looks like he wasn't taking the fight so serious. That may not be the case, but I'm going to go I've been back and forth on this fight, I'll tell you the truth. I don't know, I might change it up here last minute. I want to take Formiga. I think Formiga bounces back with the victory here. But Alex Perez has good grappling as well. He might be able to avoid the sub or avoid being controlled. And he could use his striking. But Formiga's no slouch, man, with the striking as well, man. He's a quick dude. Back and forth on this fight. So as you guys can see, I don't really see. I'm gonna go with Formiga. I'm gonna take Formiga here. I think that he's gonna be hungry after coming off that loss, and I think his jiu-jitsu is top of the line. And I'll take Formiga, but as you see, not super confident in the pick. And Perez obviously coming in as the favorite, and we'll see how that plays out. We'll go with Formiga though. All right, let's see. Moving on to the next fight. Who we got here? We got Charles Byrd taking on Maki Pitolo. Speaking of what I was talking about earlier, going back to that, I was talking about guys that that looked really good on Dana White's Contender Series, but then after they made their UFC debut, didn't really look as good as they looked. You see the step up in competition. This is one of the guys I was referring to. Looked so good on the Contender Series. Finished Justin Sumter early. His hands look nasty. His name's Coconut Bombs, right? This is the guy. And then he came into that fight. You see him over here, the Hawaiian dude, 29 years old. And then he came into that fight, make it in the UFC, in his UFC debut against Kalen Potter, and he was an extreme favorite. And Kalen Potter spoiled the party. So, but now you got a different type of matchup. The UFC is going to give him an opportunity to use his striking and see if he's really the real deal as far as that goes with his explosive boxing and whatnot. Charles Byrd, he'll be willing to engage in that. Charles Byrd, this guy, 10-6, not the best of record, but this kid is good striking, very athletic, 36 years old, but an explosive striker. He's coming off 2 losses, but both to two very, very promising fighters, two very explosive fighters, and Edmund Shabazian, who's a true stud, is probably going to be a future title holder, and then Darren Stewart's a guy that can knock anybody out. So if you go to war with him, you can be put out, and that's what happened there. Before that, though, Byrd was handling business against lower level quality of fighters for sure. So yeah, this is a fight that I think that's going to be it's going to be a brawl on the feet, a technical brawl, and yeah, man, I don't like where the line is. I think the fight's a little bit closer than that, but I'm going to go with Byrd to win the fight. I did not like what I saw from Maki in his last fight, so don't really feel comfortable taking him really right now from how he performed in his UFC debut. So we'll take Byrd to win that fight. Now this next fight, this is the fight I'm really excited to break down for you guys. I want to give you guys some insight on what's going over here and in the background with everything I got going on. Brian Kelleher, man. This is a guy, right? I picked him to win his last fight. I popped in this guy. He does Instagram live videos all the time. I've had nothing but good things to say about this guy. Talked to him through DMs. He actually confirmed he'd be coming on my show. This was well before he even had that knockout victory over Azor, who I was one of the only people to pick Kelleher to win that fight. Let's be honest. Show me anyone else that has their pick selection of Brian Kelleher. But I picked him to win that fight. I thought he was slightly the better fighter. Whatever. It wasn't worth putting the money on him because he's really not that good of a fighter, to be quite honest. I don't think he'll be lasting long in the UFC at all. But this guy confirms to be on my show. Message him a few times, man. Try to show some support to the guy. It's not like this guy is like some big star in the sport. Whatever. He acts like he's cool and whatnot. He's always doing his little Instagram live videos, like I said, smoking, chilling. Seems like a cool dude, right? Confirms to come on my show, after win or lose, right? I asked him before. He's like, yeah, I'll definitely come on, bro. I'm down. Even posted on his story and everything. After that, after he gets the knockout victory, I was messaging him, whatever, throughout the week, man. What's up, man? Congratulations. Putting stories. Congratulations, man. Shout out to Kelleher. Dude just sees every message that I sent to him, and for whatever odd reason, just decides he doesn't ever want to respond back to me. So, I kept it simple. Didn't, message him too much, but I wanted to make it clear that he saw what I was writing. I guess dude thinks that he's a star now, because now in his Instagram live videos, instead of having 3 to 4 people, he's got 14 people in it. You know what I mean? I got more star power over here as the teller. I get more people in my videos than Kelleher. So, you know what? I guess I'm being a little bit of a hater right now, but I don't like people that act like that. Be true. You know what I mean? Be true to your word. Don't be fake. And this guy is, I guess he's letting the star power get to his head. He's calling out Sean O'Malley like he would ever have a chance in a fight against Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley would knock him out in the first round 10 out of 10 times. So, and he'll never even be lucky enough to even touch the same canvas as Sean O'Malley at the same time. He might touch the same canvas in this event, before Sean O'Malley steps in there later, down the card. But Brian Kelleher is going to lose this fight. How about that? Brian Kelleher, he's going to lose this fight. You see him over here on Instagram. He thinks he's got things going on. He's going to smoke Sean O'Malley, bro. And in your dreams, you ain't smoking nobody. You're about to get finished by Cody Stamann. Cody Stamann, this guy's a stud. This guy has been locked in there with some solid fighters. This guy has a solid resume. A solid fighting resume. This guy's the real deal. This guy has crisp boxing, not the biggest reach, kind of short arms, but he's jacked up. Great wrestling base, and 30 years old, right in his prime, training over at Michigan Top Team, coming off a draw against Yadong Song, and we know how good Yadong Song is. Yadong Song is a solid fighter. Took out Alejandro Perez before that. Only loss that he had was against Aljamain Sterling, who he pulled off the knee bar, man, the crazy knee bar. That's a fight, honestly. If he didn't get caught in that sub, probably wins that fight, and we're probably talking about Stamann at the top of the heap right now. So Brian Kelleher is going to be taught a lesson. He thinks he's a star already, man. Let him lose that fight. Let him lose his next fight. He'll probably be cut from the UFC. Like I said, I'm hating right now, but I'm going to enjoy watching Stamann take this dude out, man. I don't like people that act like that, so I'll leave that at that. And I'm not being biased on the pick either, man. You know me. If I thought Kelleher really had a chance to win this fight, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't see him winning this fight. I don't see where he wins this fight. He ain't knocking Stamann out. Dude, he had a lucky shot on Azor. I picked him to win the fight, but whatever. I'm going to be honest, man. That was a sloppy hook. Azor, that guy is obviously not UFC caliber, and Stamann is UFC caliber. Cody Stamann to win that fight and probably get a finish too. Boom is a guy that he's susceptible to being finished. We've seen him get finished before. So let's see how that goes. All right. We'll keep it moving. We got some really exciting fights to break down moving forward. Look at this one. Ian Heinisch versus Gerald Meerschaert. You know this fight has the makings of being a super exciting fight. Very evenly matched fight. I'm going with Ian Heinisch to win this fight. Ian Heinisch, I think that he's going to have the edge as far as the grappling goes, in the sense that he's a little bit stronger with the wrestling. Meerschaert has excellent jiu-jitsu, but I think he'll be more of the guy that will be playing from the bottom when things start to get grueling. I think Ian Heinisch has better cardio. I think he'll push the pace a little bit in the later rounds. Gerald Meerschaert, though, definitely has a chance to win this fight. I'm a big fan of GM3s. Shout out to GM3. Sorry I'm not picking you here, buddy, but I love the way you play the saxophone and whatnot, and I'm a big fan of yours. But I'm also a big fan of Ian Heinisch's. He's came through for me many times. Ever since Dana White's Contender Series, after he signed with the UFC, I was on him for like his first 3 fights, major plays. Run the tape back, you can see them. Look in the Cap Protect, everything. And I was banking on him at underdog odds. I grabbed them as an underdog against 2 Brazilian fighters that everybody thought was going to take him out. Cesar Ferreira and Antonio Carlos Jr. Jumped on him on both those fights. So I also did have a play on him against Derek Brunson that I lost, but two of the 3 times I've went in on him, he's came through. Stayed away from him on that Omari Akhmedov fight. Actually, I picked Omari to win that fight. But Ian Heinisch is a stud. Guy has a wild story. This is a guy that I want to get to come on the show. I'd love to have Ian Heinisch come on the show. If any of you guys know him, or if you're listening, Ian, I would love to have you on the show, man, for an MMA live discussion. I know you got an interesting story. I think it'd be cool to have you on. So, Ian Heinisch, man, cool dude. And I'm going to pick him to win the fight. Probably a decision, right? Probably a decision, but a close fight. Gerald Meerschaert, this guy is a stud, man, a very underrated fighter. And I had him to beat this guy over here, Deron Win. And I picked Gerald Meerschaert to win, quite a few times, and he's came through too. So hard to pick against Gerald. Take a look real quick at what Gerald's been doing. Coming off the nice win against Deron Win. Lost to Eric Anders. It's a fight you want to win. And he took out Trevin Giles, Kevin Holland, Hermanson, 2 studs. Oscar Pachota, he was an underdog in that spot, and he came through. So he's been known for coming in or for showing up when he's an underdog. So don't be surprised if he does it once again. But I have Ian Heinisch to win the fight. Now, excuse me over here. A little sneak peek. All right. So this is a stacked card, man, that we have here. Excited to get into each and every one of these fights, especially this one here, huh? Chase Hooper taking on Bruce Leroy. I like to call him Bruce Leroy. I just had him on the show this past Thursday. I guess he likes to go by Alex Caceres a little bit more, but I think Bruce Leroy is a way cooler name. And this is an exciting fight, man. Shout out to Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy, for coming on the show. If you guys didn't see it, I'll give you guys a little sample of what it looked like, man. Bruce Leroy did come on the show. It looked like he just woke up from a nap or whatnot. But nevertheless, man, thank you for coming on the show. Let me see if you guys can see him over there. Bruce Leroy, man, we were chatting it up. He's an interesting fella, man. He's into studying herbs and whatnot and all that type of stuff, he said. And it was quite an interesting interview. We talked about his street fighting and all that. So, yeah, man, Bruce Leroy, I talked about it with him. I said that, it's a good matchup for him. I really do think it's a good matchup against Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper is the guy that does have some holes in his striking, so Bruce Leroy can try to expose his striking. But, when we're getting down to business here, and I always keep it real. I got Chase Hooper to win this fight. I think this kid's jiu-jitsu is so nasty that I think he can get this fight to the ground. We've seen that happen quite a few times at Bruce Leroy. We just saw it recently against Gracie. I was there live for that fight. Gracie took him down, got the submission. And Chase Hooper's a guy that he eats shots. He has a solid chin. He keeps young. He'll keep coming forward. He's very wild and very unorthodox, and he'll get the fight to the mat. And if he gets this fight to the mat, you got to foresee him getting the submission. This guy is he's a new age type of fighter, man. Look, he even got the ground and pound finish on Tamer. That was a weird, thing. He locked him up and he was controlling him so much that they had to stop the fight. Went over at Titan FC. I was there for that fight against Luis Gomez, a tough guy. Island Fights got a victory there. Had that weird split decision draw. But then Dana White's Contender Series fight back in 2018, man. Remember that fight? He took a bunch of damage against that guy, Canon, and came back and he won that fight, unanimous decision. So he has a lot of heart, man. He really has a lot of heart. But like I said, Bruce Leroy is a guy that struggled with submission artists. He's been sub, but coming off a win, but a very close fight. But I'm going to go with Chase Hooper in the fight. I got to go with Chase Hoop. And again, shout out to Leroy for coming on the show, man. Love to have him on again, maybe, down the line. All right. You guys know we got a big name coming up. All right, people were saying there's no star power on this card. You guys sure about that, man? I think we got a star. I don't even want to say a star in the making. I think we got a star that's fighting on this card. Sugar Sean O'Malley. This guy has almost 1 million followers on Instagram. This guy is he's blowing up on YouTube. This is a guy I met over in Vegas, and I really kicked myself in the butt because I didn't get a picture with him. I didn't want to act all starstruck, and he wasn't that big back then too. I met him at the Khabib Conor fight. He was out there. I don't know if you guys remember at the press conference. If you run that tape back, you'll see everybody at the press conference all start looking backwards like a fight's happening or something. But what it was Sean O'Malley just strolled in, and beforehand where I met him, he was just in the casino right outside of the entrance where you came in. So extremely cool dude. He's always blazing it up and whatnot. Coming in as a minus 400 here. Against the veteran and Eddie Wineland. Eddie Wineland, for those of you guys that are not familiar, this is a guy that's an OG in the game, ex-WEC champ way back in the day. This guy is a stud. He's an exciting striker. He can knock anybody out. He kind of has that Jeremy Stevens type of fighting style, man. He goes in there to take your head off. So can lay anybody out. But the thing is, man, Sean O'Malley is a guy that's just so fluid and so nasty with his striking. This fight really plays right into the hands of Sean O'Malley, right? Sean O'Malley's the better striker. He's younger, really, really coming around right now. And this is a fight that Sean O'Malley is probably going to win this fight, right? Eddie Wineland, I just talked to him on Instagram, asked him if he would come on the show. He apologized that he couldn't make it. He said he would have loved to, but he Thursday nights he actually works in the firehouse. He's I guess a volunteer firefighter or whatever he does on the side. Cool stuff, but I guess he didn't want to do that in the firefighter house. But shout out to Eddie Wineland. Maybe down the road we could have him on. Maybe if he pulls off the upset, that'd be cool to throw him on. Maybe next Thursday. It'd be an honor to speak with Eddie Wineland. So, Eddie Wineland's the real deal. And, of course, I'm going with Sean O'Malley to win the fight. Another little sneak peek for you guys, huh? But I got to pick Sean O'Malley to win the fight, right? I think everyone will have Sean O'Malley. If anybody's picking Eddie Wineland, like I always say, say it now or forever hold your peace. Comment now. When this video is posted, as you're watching this, comment below right now. Because nobody's going to have Eddie Wineland to win that fight. But you never know. Anybody can be knocked out, especially when you're fighting a guy that's a nice striker like Eddie Wineland that has that power. All right. We're getting right up there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, man, we're already in the main card. Neil Magny versus Anthony Rocco Martin. Excuse me, just finishing up my coffee here. All right. Yeah, this is an excellent matchup right here. Solid fight. Both these guys have similar types of fighting style. I think this is going to make for an exciting fight in my opinion. Anthony Rocco Martin is a guy that I've really liked from the beginning, but didn't like the way that he fought Damian Maia, but bounced back with a nice victory. He's a tough guy. Neil Magny, you guys know the deal at Neil Magny. Neil Magny, a very professional fighter. Did have that tainted drug test, but he bounced back with a nice win over Jing Lang Li, which I don't know why anybody picked Jing Lang Li. I had Neil Magny to win that fight. I said I don't know what anyone's thinking about touching that as far as betting goes too. And people are betting Jing Lang Li. Some of the rivals of me over here, but it's kind of crazy. They're not even really rivals now. I'm passing all these guys up, right? I mean, these guys are not even close to the same level as the teller over here. So, but a lot of people had Lee. And, I thought it was a close fight, I guess, but like betting-wise, I'm talking about betting-wise. People are betting on Lee. The hell are you betting on Lee in that spot? Anyway, back to this fight here. You take a look at the line. The line is at plus 130 for Martin. He's the underdog. Neil Magny, people are high on him after that last performance. Yeah, man, you know what? I'm going to go with the dog here. I'm going to take Anthony Rocco Martin. I think he's gonna come out here, coming off the victory, coming off the learning experience before that, losing to Damian Maia. I think that it's a really, really close fight. But I like Anthony Rocco Martin's toughness. He's 30 years old, putting time with American top team. He's just going to be better every time he steps in there. And I think he's going to pull up the supposed upset. I guess upset. It's a really close fight. I'm going to go with Rocco. I'm going to go with Anthony Rocco here. Close fight, though, man. Neil Magny can easily win this fight. This is a fight I'm telling you guys right now. Very close fight. We'll see how that all plays out. And, all right. We got a fight that's taking place next, man, that has big implications for the bantamweight division. You guys know what I'm talking about. Got Aljamain Sterling, Funkmaster versus Cory Sandhagen. Aljo is a guy I definitely would love to have on the show. I think we will get him on the show. Taking on Cory Sandhagen. Cory Sandhagen is a guy that's really shown now he's the real deal. A lot of people thought it was just all hype at first, but that's not the case. This guy's the real deal. Coming off a very solid victory against a very tough fighter in Raphael Assunção. Guy we're going to be talking more about here in a second. But, John Lineker, he defeated him. Yuri Alcantara back in the day got the finish. Sandhagen is a guy, people like to compare him to Dominic Cruz, the new version of Dominic Cruz. And he's even more rangy, man. He's a bigger dude, 70-inch reach. And but this is the truth right here. Not like I said, not that he hasn't fought top-notch opponents, but Aljamain Sterling might be a different type of fighter. Aljamain Sterling is he's creeping up there for a title shot. So Aljamain Sterling, a guy that has really, really put in work. He's had a couple setbacks, of course, the knockout to Marlon Moraes, but since then, took out Brett Johns, took out Cody Stamann with that knee bar we talked about, Jimmy Rivera, Pedro Munoz, that was a big victory, and his striking is really coming together, man. You see Aljo working that outside striking, just really quick with his striking. He's a very dangerous fighter. The grappling's there. He has the grappling in his back pocket. Aljamain Sterling is the real deal. Whether or not he's going to win this fight, that's a different conversation, but he's the real deal. We're talking about two of the best bantamweights in the world here. I'm going to go with Cory Sandhagen. I'm going to take Cory Sandhagen to win this fight. I think he's a little bit more fluid with his striking, and he keeps rising to the occasion. I'm going to pick him to win this fight. Take a look at the line. He's a slight underdog. I'm picking the underdog here. It's pretty much a pick 'em, though. Funkmaster is the real deal. This fight can go any way, but I kind of edge Sandhagen. You take a look at them here. Sandhagen, a little bit taller, but the reach, even has a 1-inch reach disadvantage, but it's not about necessarily the reach, what I'm referring to. It's the way he uses his footwork. He's just very fluid, training up there with Elevation Fight Team. I really like what those guys are doing. But not that Aljamain Sterling ain't putting in work too. I mean, you take a look at Aljo here. This was actually just filmed recently. This is where Aljo's been putting his work in with the whole pandemic situation that's been going on. It looks like he's in the garage, and Aljo is just a tough dude, man. We'll see if the training affects either of these guys. I mean, I guess we won't really know. Never really know, if they win or lose, what the reasons were. Cory Sandhagen might just be the better fighter, but I don't know what's going on with this training facility. It looks like it's a garage, right? I don't know. I have a feeling that Cory Sandhagen's doing his thing over there in Colorado. But I'm going to pick Cory Sandhagen to win the fight. And then the winner of this fight should be getting the winner of Jose Aldo and slipping my mind right now. Jose Aldo is taking on, how do I forget that? Oh, Petr Yan. What a fight that is. Petr Yan will be the bantamweight champion, and Petr Yan will take out Aldo, and he'll take out either of these two. That guy Yan is he is the real deal, all right? I'll tell you that. Cory Sandhagen looking fluid, man, on the feet, taking out veterans like Assunção and Lineker. Real deal. All right. Now, this is a fight, man. You talk about star power, right? You talk about star power. This is a guy that has star power, whether you like him or not, whether you think he's overrated or whatever. He's coming off some tough losses. Cody Garbrandt is a guy that has star power, man. People want to tune in when he fights. At least I do. I can't wait to see him get locked in there. This is a guy that showed so much promise. The chin has been really holding him back, but if he can figure that out, figure out his defense and slow down with engaging in these brawls, he's so quick. His striking is so good. Good grappling. I'm a big fan of Cody Garbrandt, and I think that I think that if he can pull this fight off, if he can avoid, he can pull this fight off if he avoids being knocked out. Now, Raphael Assunção, I'm gonna pull up a little bit of training if this wants to work. 1 second. But now Raphael Assunção is a guy that is so professional, very, very, very rarely loses fights when he steps in there. But he is coming off 2 losses against Cory Sandhagen and Marlon Moraes, two amazing fighters. But before that, just always beating everybody. And then he only lost to TJ Dillashaw. TJ Dillashaw was on all types of performance-enhancing stuff and all that. But just want to show you a quick little. Let me throw this on for you. If it wants to cooperate. Sorry, guys. Yeah, you see, this is Chad Mendes and Cody putting in some work together recently. And, Cody has excellent sparring partners over at Team Alpha Male, of course. There's so many guys over there in the stable of Team Alpha Male. But, Cody Garbrandt is a guy. So, back to this fight. Cody's a guy that I think if he avoids being knocked out by Assunção, as long as he avoids getting hit with that big shot, I think he wins this fight. I think he'll be quicker than Assunção. Not that Assunção's not quick, man. He's a very, very skilled, quick counter puncher, counter striker. But I think that Cody will outpoint him. But, it's a dangerous fight, man. You take a look at Cody's last couple losses. The thing that's a little bit of a red flag is that Pedro Munoz kind of reminds me of Assunção in a lot of ways. Pedro Munoz is a little bit more aggressive, though. So I'm going to take... I've been back and forth on this. Cody Garbrandt, the line. I don't know if I'd feel comfortable taking that there, maybe. But I'm going to go Cody to win this fight. I'll take Cody to win this fight. He has to avoid that knockout. If Assunção catches him with some counter shots, could be a long night for Cody because that will be, 4 consecutive losses, man. That's sad. Not like he'll be being cut. He won't be being cut or anything. Like I said, he's a star in the game. 2 losses, for the belt or whatnot against TJ, and then Pedro Munoz is a rising star too. So we'll leave it at that. Let's go with Cody to win the fight, but he has to avoid being knocked out or dropped and then submitted. All right. Now we reached the main event. Now the main event, this is not the most exciting fight to break down. I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same way, or maybe not. Maybe some of you guys are excited to see Amanda Nunes get in there and throw down. Amanda Nunes, has been knocking everybody out, right? Devastating these girls, legends in the game, and Holly Holm and Cyborg, and just took out Jermaine Durandamy, an excellent striker, and Amanda Nunes. A lot of people think that she's the best women's fighter of all time. I think Shevchenko is. I think Shevchenko beat her at least one of the 2 times, if not both. So we can debate that all day, but I need to see that rematch. I need to see Valentina Shevchenko take on Amanda Nunes. We need a star fight, a big fight. Let's see that happen. And but again, Amanda Nunes coming off a solid victory against Jermaine Durandamy, where that went to decision. But look at this list right here: Jermaine, Holly, Cyborg, Valentina Shevchenko. But again, it's a BS right here. Ronda Rousey, Miesha Tate. And, back in the day, Nunes, she had problems with girls like Kat Zingano, some of these girls like that, that would grapple her, and kind of wear her out. But she's cleaned all that up. She's such a superior fighter. Felicia Spencer, this is a girl that striking is not on the level. She's extremely tough, extremely tough. You saw the damage she took against Chris Cyborg. You saw how she came back against Zara Farin. I mean, she's a real deal. She could fight. The way I see her winning this fight, though, she has to get this fight to the ground. She has to make this a nasty brawl. She has to get on top of Amanda Nunes and do something similar to what Kat Zingano did back in the day, man. Mount her, try to rain some ground and pound. Just touching upon that fight with Kat Zingano. Yeah, that was a fight where Kat Zingano stopped Amanda Nunes. For those of you guys that don't remember that fight with the ground and pound, using her grappling. But again, that was back in 2014. I don't see that happening. The line is ridiculous. Amanda Nunes is a minus six something, 600. What are you going to do with that? I don't recommend parlaying it. I mean, maybe you could, but I don't know. Felicia Spencer, I mean, hopefully she could pull off the upset, in my opinion. I'm rooting for her to win the fight. I think that would be really cool if she did, but do not see that happening. I expect Amanda Nunes to throw nasty leg kicks, use the boxing, and probably stop her eventually in a 5-round fight. Or Felicia is just too tough, man. She's just too tough. So be careful if you're looking for a prop bet on a stoppage, because she is tough. All right? All right, man, that's going to wrap up the card. Once again, thank you guys for everyone that subscribed to the channel. We're doing the Fight Companion. The Fight Companion is going down for UFC 250. Come join the show, man. Let's make the show even more exciting. All you guys, come in. I'll throw all you guys in there. We'll have a big conversation. It'll be fun, man. And we'll take over the Fight Companion game. We'll catch up to Joe Rogan. That's what I'm trying to work on over here. And so 9 o'clock Eastern for UFC 250. Other than that, of course, I'm going to have a couple plays thrown together for this card. Already have a couple in mind that I'm putting together. Making that all official now. If you guys are interested, reach out to me, MMAfortuneteller@gmail.com. If you don't have Instagram, because Instagram is the best way to get a hold of me, Instagram, MMAfortuneteller_. You can catch me over there. And yeah, man, the things I've been doing with my bets, it's crazy. So it's definitely an investment that you guys are going to want to think of, man. Think about doing. You'll make your money back quickly. If you're having trouble, if you guys are out there killing your bets too, do your thing, man. Shout out to all you guys that are out there that kill your bets too, man. But if you're struggling and you really enjoy watching the fights and having money on them, reach out to me, man. Reach out to me. I'll help you win money, and I'll help make these events more enjoyable. Something I touched upon recently in one of my live videos, be careful with these fake cappers out there. Be careful. I talked about this. I don't want to go too much into it once again, but there's a lot of fake guys, and even UFC fighters are promoting these guys. These guys don't even put their face out there. They just have little screenshots of their little fake bets, and their specialty is NFL, college football, NHL, MMA. They do it all. They do it all, right? These so-called specialists. No third-party tracking. You can't even see what they're really about. You know what I'm saying? I'm the real deal. Whether you want to admit it or not, I am the real deal. You know what I mean? I'm completely transparent. Everyone knows what I'm doing. All my plays are legit. Nobody profits on these cards like I do. Love it or hate it, it's what it is. And like I talked about the haters earlier, I'll touch upon you guys again, because this is the time, man, where you losers are sitting here listening to me, right? You guys, you hate on me so much, but you sit here and you got my voice in your ears, right? Something that I noticed, man, as my channel has been getting bigger and better, more haters have been coming out the bushes, as I talked about. And just to touch upon that, man, for all you guys listening, all you good people, that's how life is, man. And take that as a positive thing. When these haters start coming out at the woodwork, that means you're doing something right. So, for all you guys, when you guys are, whatever hustle you guys got going on, man, with your career, everything you guys got going on with your family, you know what I mean? Having these good events that are happening. Maybe you're having kids, you're getting married, you've met a beautiful girl, you got a new girlfriend. You're going to notice that there's going to be a lot of haters, even people that you thought that you thought they were your boys or whatnot. The haters are going to come out the woodwork. And remember, when that happens, don't let it get to you. Just be smooth with it. And remember, that means you're doing something right, because unfortunately, that's just human nature, and not everybody is a good person. There's a lot of people that are going to be happy for your success too, and those are the people that you want to keep close to you. All those other people that you feel that they're kind of not happy for your success, have a clear mind. Make sure you're analyzing it properly, but you know what I'm talking about. Cut them off, man. Cut them off. Have nothing to do with those types of people. All right. So just a little bit of life advice from the teller. And before I close out, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe and like this video. Like this video. Helps with the algorithm. Let's get this out there. And on that note, I'll see you guys Thursday. I'll have a special guest. We'll have a special fighter this Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then, of course, Fight Companion next Saturday, UFC 250. All right? It's going to be a good one. And on that note, there's only one thing to do. Signing out. The teller. The MMA fortune teller.
The teller. The teller. The teller. The teller.